Okay, so we are going to be recording this section so we can keep it for everyone who might miss this section for one reason or the other. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and privilege to inform everyone that we have two of our facilitators already in the room. But I don't really know who is going to go first. The plan is to have Omotola go first. So I don't know who is going to go first. So we are going to bring, yeah. Okay, so we are going to have Omotola go first. Then Victor will come on board. And these persons happen to be, they happen to be specialists when it comes to sales and marketing. And over time, I've also come to understand that without sales, without marketing, you don't have any business, because if you create a product and no one is buying that product, automatically you don't have any business. So today is arguably the most important sections that we are going to be having. So let's have our one and only. You know, she's our one. Anybody that is under her mentorship, she's our one and only now. No Biam.
Yes. So
We now we can now welcome her on board. You're welcome, ma. Good morning. Good to have you. The floor is yours. You have about 20 minutes. Then we can do Q&A before we have Victor join us. Good morning.
Thank you so very, very much. Good morning, everyone. How are we today? Well, as Mr. Igwe said, my name is Omotola Dorcas, and I'm a growth specialist. So like we all know, today we'll be talking about sales and marketing, but specifically, we are going to be narrowing down on go-to marketing, right? Go-to marketing, and I often like to have an interactive session so that it would help a number of us to know how to put a lot of things into perspective, right? I think it's proper that we define what sales is, and or if not necessarily defined, that we try to create a template for us moving on to differentiate between what sales is and what marketing is. And I will try my possible best to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. Definitely, I'll still share my slide. But before I do that, let's just do this introduction for us. So we know that, like Mr. Igwe has said, a business cannot thrive without understanding, right, how to approach sales and marketing. You cannot say that you are a good business person if you do not understand the dynamics of sales and marketing. One thing is very, very important for us to know, that sales and marketing is a very, very crucial pillar. Like, they are crucial pillars of every business. And the truth also is that they are closely linked together. It's very, very difficult sometimes to differentiate between what exactly is the sales activity and what exactly is the marketing activity. But then we can all agree that both engagements act as a catalyst for generating revenue, right? Which we can put within the confines of profits and sales, right? Well, it is important for us to know that as much as both activities that are done within the organization act as catalyst. When I say catalyst, I mean that when you engage in the activities of sales and marketing, the end result is that it ends up in that business, right? Generating sales, right? And revenue, right? And ultimately, you are making profits consistently over time when revenue is constantly being made and when that organization is constantly hitting their targets. But I want to say that even though these activities are very, very linked together, marketing is majorly about creating awareness, right? It's majorly about creating awareness about your brand and organization, right? So any activity that you are doing that is helping you to be able to get people to be attracted to you by the reason of them coming to know about you, right? Through any channel that you have chosen to, communicate your business offerings, your value propositions, what you're selling, right? Any channel that you use to communicate that makes people to pull you, that channel is your marketing channel, and that activity is an activity that is within the perimeter of marketing because you are achieving something, and that thing is that you're attracting people to yourself. You are creating awareness and you are gaining visibility. You are getting more reach. Now, it turns into sales, right? When that activity of creating awareness begins to generate interest in people to the point where there's an exchange of value. That exchange of value is two ways. That is, the people that are being attracted by reason of that awareness that you have created have generated interest in them. Those people bring money to you, right? And they pay you in exchange for the value, right, that your business is providing for them. And that value can be in the form of your product and the benefit that your product is bringing to the table, or it could be the reason of the service that you're providing and the benefit that that service is providing to them. So oftentimes we would say that sales happens when there is an exchange of value from both parties. There is no sales or no sales has happened if revenue or profit has not happened. That is, if the people that has been attracted to your business by the reason of the awareness that you have created, if they have not been converted, right? If they have not been converted from just potential customers into actual customers. Do you understand? At that point that they have been converted into actual customers, then sales has happened. If you also go a little bit forward, you would hear people say that the action of business of promoting or selling a product or service, including engaging in market research and advertising, that is also marketing, which is true, right? Because there's always going to be a process, conversion, activities that you do before conversion of people into actual customers between you and that person. Any activity that you do before then is marketing. And that is one thing that I would want to establish. I've been trying to connect with my laptop here, but I don't know what is wrong. It's not allowing me to do that. So eventually I may just have to share from my screen, from my phone here. So hopefully I'm able to do that. Okay. Please let me know if you can see my slide or if you can even see my screen. I have just less than 20 minutes right now to do this. Sometimes you experience this technical difficulty, but then we move. Right. Right, so let's see. Can you see my screen, please? Can anyone see my screen?
Yes, ma.
Yes, ma, I can
Alright.
see it.
All right, thank you. So we want to talk about go-to marketing, right? When we say go-to marketing, before I even go on, let me see if we really know our onions. When we say go-to marketing, what does it mean? Can someone help us? And please unmute yourself. When we say go-to marketing, what does it mean? From the understanding that you have, it does not, one thing I also tell my people when I am engaging with them is there is really no right and wrong when it comes to defining certain things around business. Because I know that we've been told that there are standards, and these standards are protocols that everybody must follow. But the truth is, if it works for you, then it becomes a standard for you, right? But of course, there are certain basic processes that everyone must understand. So when you hear go-to marketing, what does it mean? At least you're a business person, you are already functioning. What does go-to marketing strategy mean? Anyone, please.
Good morning. My name is Elisha. From my understanding, from what you just said, I would say it is a process of creating awareness for your product or services or your brand. The activity you decide to carry on, to tell people about the brand. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. I like that. That was very, very clear and simple. Any other person? And you're right. Thank you. Any other person? Let's have one or two person give us feedback. Any other person? When you hear go-to marketing, we've already heard what he said. So when you hear go-to marketing, what does it mean to you as a business person who is already playing within the market? When you hear, just as the name implies, go-to market strategy, what does it mean to you?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello.
Who is speaking, the lady or the guy?
Okay, good morning.
Let her
Eunice.
go for it.
Oh, Eunice, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine. Okay, I
All
think
right, you
go-to
can go on.
marketing. I think go-to marketing is a way we plan and organize our business. Okay, to deliver a unique value, to deliver a unique business strategy or business plan. Thank you.
Okay. Makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, the other person.
Okay, good morning. Yeah, this is
Good morning.
Jeremiah speaking. What I understand by
Hey,
go-to
hi.
marketing, I feel is the channel of advertisement, the channel to
Okay.
which you advertise your products.
Okay.
Now, catch this in the audience or the customers.
Okay. That's fair. Both of you are fair. Thank you very much for your input. So, like I said, there's really no right or wrong when it comes to defining certain concepts around business, but definitely there are processes to it. So, as the name implies, when you say go to market, right? Go to market strategy. So basically what you're saying is that you are trying to look for a way to go to the market. So you take, for instance, a novice who wants to buy something, all right? Someone who is a novice, that is a stranger in a particular place, that does not have an idea of what goes on in the general market of that location. And then that person has the responsibility to go buy something in the market. He or she is new to that location. Before he or she can enter into that market, the person needs to do certain things. That is, he or she needs to ask the person who wants him to go buy that stuff, what do you want me to go and buy, right? What is the quality of things that you want me to go and buy? What is the type of pricing that I can encounter in the market so that I can know how to price it well? Who are the people that I should not listen to when they are pulling me or when they are calling me to come and buy? Who are the people that I should approach when I want to go and buy so that I can stay within the perimeter of the price that you have told me to purchase the things that you want me to buy for, right? What is the route that I should take when I want to go to the market? Which is the fastest route, right? What are the places that I should avoid? Now, you realize that that person, even though it looks as simple as go and buy a bottle of water or just go and buy this supplement for me at the market, right? The person needs to have an overview, all right, an understanding of what the person who needs the things that he or she needs to go and buy. The person needs to have an overview understanding of what exactly that thing is and how do I get there. So if you take it back and we try to reverse engineer the process, when you say go-to marketing strategy, basically what you're saying is that you have a comprehensive plan, right? A comprehensive business plan, right? That helps you to create your way, right? On how to bring a new product or a new service to the market. Remember, I said you plan your way, a comprehensive plan that helps you plan your way, right? In order to know how to bring a new product, underline that, a new product or a new service into the market. Creating a go-to marketing strategy is very, very important, both for established companies and for new companies who are just seeking to begin their entrepreneur's endeavor. And to be candid, there are quite a lot of things that many people do not understand when they are engaging in this, because sometimes people confuse just doing a typical marketing strategy. They confuse it with having a go-to marketing strategy. They are two different things, but just like sales and marketing are very, very linked together, they overlap themselves at certain points of interceptions. When you say you want to do a go-to marketing strategy, basically what you are doing is that you want to have a roadmap that will help you introduce your product, your new product or your new service to a market. That is, you want to look for a way such that you will have many eyes on your products. So it means that it has to be something that is really comprehensive, very, very robust. For a person carrying out a go-to marketing strategy, you are anticipating a lot of challenges and you're expecting that you are entering into a place that is competitive. So by thoroughly identifying your target markets, by thoroughly knowing how to articulate your value proposition for your product or service, by thoroughly understanding how to craft your marketing plan and developing a strategy for both your sales and your distribution channels, there is a need for you to know how to engage that. Because those things that I mentioned, your target market, your product or your service value proposition, your marketing plan, and also your sales strategy, right? And also your distribution channels strategy. Those things are very, very important when it comes to carrying out a go-to market, which is why I will start from market segmentation and targeting. So when we say market segmentation and targeting, basically what we are saying is that just like that person that the person said, go and help me buy a supplement in the market, right? Just like that person, you are a business, you are a new business, or you are already an established business, and you really want to be able to experience a situation where there is constant people coming to make inquiry about your product. There are people who are signing up on your platform. There are people who are asking you in your inbox, what is it about your product? How can I use your product? Can this product, can I use it? Is it for pregnant people? Is it for students? Can I use your product as a professional? If you know that you want to experience such kind of activity every time, then there is a need for you to have a very, very, very comprehensive understanding of the marketplace, right? And when I mean the marketplace, I mean your target market, the place where you want to place your proposed product or your proposed market. So there's a need for you to be able to identify specific target audience within that market and tailor your product or services and the value proposition of your product and services to their needs. Having done that, let's take, for instance, that let's take trust business, for instance. Trust is into digital knowledge, right? It provides online trainings to people who want to pick up digital skills and are looking to develop technical skills that will position them for the future of work, such that they become employable in the global market and they come to that point where they are highly competitive in the market, whether it is in the local market or in the international market. For a person like Trust, who has a product like, let's say, DevOps, Trust, are you on this platform? Maybe it's not here. So let me give you the name. So let's say the name of Trust business is DevOps Academy, right? So it decides to create DevOps Academy as a new online learning platform that is self-paced. And in order to create a go-to marketing strategy for that product, it needs to segment its market. And before it can segment its market, it means that it needs to identify who are the specific target audience in the market. So if you want to go by what I just explained, that means that Trust, we need to identify who are the ideal persons that will use its product and that it would not need to spend too much time trying to convince them about what its product seeks to achieve whenever anybody uses it. For me, Trust specific target audience will be graduates, right? Graduates who already have their traditional certificate, right? And are looking to develop technical skills, maybe because the traditional university that they went to did not provide that, right? And we know that the academic world has evolved, right? And then skills has also evolved. And the marketplace, which is a business environment, is now demanding for new skills. So Trust would want to have graduates, right? Professionals who are already working, right? Who are already working and already have like 3 years to 4 or 5 years and above experience in the market space. Those will be his ideal target audience. So let's just stick with those two. Graduates who have already completed their universities and working professionals, those are his ideal specific audience, right? And because we have established that, right, he knows what he needs to do. These are two people in the market, and he has been able to segment them into two. One, working professionals. Two, graduates who have finished their education in the traditional university. Now, in order to continue, it will move on to analyzing this market segment. And in analyzing your market segment means that you need to understand what are your customers' preferences and needs. Your ability to do that will help you to be able to create a buyer persona, right? Once you are able to create a buyer persona, it becomes easy for you to guide your marketing efforts. Your marketing efforts are the activities of marketing. You remember, I said that marketing activities are those activities that you do that involves market research, advertising, promotion, you know, creating awareness and visibility for your product. And if you know that you're going to be doing that, you need to be very, very specific with your language. You need to be very, very specific with the message that you're communicating. Now, before you can do that, you need to also analyze your market. It is one thing for you to have segmented. It's another thing for you to analyze. In analyzing Trust specific targeted audience and the market that he has been able to segment, what we need to do forward is that we will sit down and we will look at it. What are the critical needs of graduates who are finished from the traditional university? Who can help us? Let's just use 1 minute to create this thing for trust. Who can help us? Let me see if I can have my word. I hope we have our pen and paper, sincerely. This will help us a lot. So let me open my own Word document here, my notepad rather, while we are writing. So since we already have the targeted audience spelled out, right? The audience that Trust wants to sell to are the people who need digital skills, right? First thing, target market. Right? The target market for Trust are people who need to develop technical skills. That is his target market. I hope we are following me. Please, I want one person to unmute so that I can know that I'm talking to us. I feel like
Yes, ma.
I'm talking
Yes,
to myself.
yes, ma.
So thank you. So the target market for Trust, like I said, are who, please?
Are the graduates?
Those that require technical skills.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Those that require technical skills, that is his target market. What is his market segmentation? Within that market, how has he segmented it from the explanation I have explained?
Sorry, is
Hello?
it in respect to the graduates and the working professionals?
That's why I'm asking the question. You're asking me back.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, so the segmentation there is the graduates, job seekers, as you mentioned.
Okay, so let's do this again. The target market are who? Let me be sure that we know what we are saying.
The target market are the graduates who like the technical.
No.
Okay.
No. So this is it. The target market are those who need to improve their technical skills, right? And also develop, those who need to develop and improve their technical skills, right? That is his target market. His market segmentation, right, are into two, right? Segmented markets. There are two: the graduates and the working professionals. Please, do we understand?
Yes.
Is that fine?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma.
You really need to help me, please, right? Can somebody just stay unmuted, please? Mr. Igwe, is that possible? I need just one person to stay unmuted so that we can have that exchange instead of waiting to know who we want to unmute themselves or not. So we can know that we are in this together. That would really help me.
Oh, all right, cool.
All right, thank you very much. So we've been able to establish that his target market are people who want to develop technical skills and people who are looking to improve on their technical skills, right? And we've been able to segment it into two types of people in that market. We have the graduates, right? And we also have the working professionals. Now, I said that when carrying out a go-to marketing strategy, there are processes to it, right? After you have done your identification of your audience and you have segmented them, there's a need for you to analyze them, because analyzing them will help you to be able to understand what are their preferences, what are the things that they prefer when they want to use a type of product that looks like what you want to introduce to the markets, right? What are their needs, right? Because when you have been able to understand that, then you'll be able to create a buyer persona. Now, a buyer persona is like creating a fictional identity or a fictional representation of who your ideal customer is. So take, for instance, we've been able to identify the segmented audience within the targeted market that Trust wants to sell to. So now, if we want to create a buyer persona for Trust, and we want to do it by segment, and then we pick out the graduate segment, right? So we can say that for Trust, since its platform is self-paced, and we know that its platform would also necessitate that people would need to be paying money either monthly or annually, depending on what they can afford, right? It means that this set of people must have a degree of understanding of how to use the digital platform, of how to use a laptop or how to operate a laptop. They must know how to navigate their way on the internet, right? On the digital space. They must understand the difference between what they want, right? And where they are going to and where they are. This must be a set of people who are quite independent and can teach themselves to be disciplined, because the platform is self-paced. So it means that even if Trust is seeking to sell to graduates, it's not seeking to sell to every graduate, because you and me would agree, right, that it is not every graduate that knows how to use the laptop. It is not every graduate that understands where they are and where they are going. It is not every graduate that understands how to navigate their way on the digital space. This is not to shade anyone, but that is the reality that we have. I don't even want to go into giving you examples of what I have encountered while engaging with people that fall within the category of graduates. So because we have that understanding, how do we then create a buyer persona? So for a person like Trust who already has this type of product, what we will do, okay, we want to create a buyer persona. Trust will want to look for a set of people who are also going to be further divided into two. We have the male, right? And we also have the female, right? But because of our time, I will just stick with the male, right? The reason you are doing this is because you need to be able to, there's the psychology of why people buy. There's always the psychology around why a male will choose a product over another product. There's a psychology of why a female will choose this product over that product. And there's a need for every business person to understand that. Because even when you stand before investors and you are pitching to them, if there's a female investor and there's a male investor, there's also a need for you to understand those different ways that the male understands things and approach things, and the difference between a female approach to understanding and engaging things, for you to be able to know how to prepare your pitch. It doesn't mean that it will change the content of your pitch. It just helps you to know how to connect directly to people. I often tell people that when you are creating a pitch to investors, it's just like you are selling to your product to every typical person that comes into your store. But the difference is that you are working with facts and figure, and you are working with a degree of confidence because you know how to double the funds, you know how to double your money at each particular time. That's just the difference. You have your numbers because they want to know, if I put my money into your business, how am I going to know that I will make my return, right? That's just the difference between when you are selling or you are pitching your product to somebody that you just want to buy your supplement, and that person that you want to buy your product. It's just as simple as that. So there's no need for you to fret when you hear, oh, you want to go pitch your product to investors. Just ensure that all the structured thing that you know that a typical potential client will not ask for, this person will need it. Your financials, your market segment, your go-to marketing strategy, your feasibility studies, how viable your product is, your competitive landscape, all of those information, right? Your plan for management, all of those basic information without necessarily going into too much details. Just put it in a way that looks that when a person engages you and look into your pitch, the person already has an overview of how your business intends to operate from ground up. And the person is seeing the roadmap just by what you have laid out, your projections and all that, and it is realistic, right? That's just the difference between when you are pitching your product to investors and when you are just selling to a client. So coming back to why I said that to say that there's a difference between a male and female, and there's a difference to how they approach the market and how they sell. So you want to really be able to do that. Analyzing the male. Who is the ideal male for trust products? The ideal male may be somebody who is between the age of, let's say, 18 years old to 35 years old, right? Who is already a graduate, who already has a certificate and is already surfing the internet to find out what are the additional skills that he can get. So it means that that person is already going to platforms like Google, Twitter, LinkedIn to make research, and that person might already have found out your competitors. So you may need to use those information to create that buyer persona. He's a graduate, he's educated, he's digitally inclined, he already is aware of Google and how to use Google. Maybe he's already making some changes, right? He's already making some money, or maybe he has a plan, because if he does not have a financial plan, he will not be attempting to upskill himself. So definitely the person is financially buoyant, and possibly because you want to be able to also target people based on location, you may also want to craft your buyer persona to the location, right? You may want to, because oftentimes I encourage people, when you are creating a go-to marketing strategy, it's good that you do it stage by stage. Don't just approach the market as a general activity. Be specific with your location. So sometimes I'll tell my team, for this year, we are only targeting 6 locations. And those 6 locations, will break them into each quarters. So we know that in the first quarter, we are targeting 2 locations. That is Lagos and Abuja, right? Or Lagos and Ogun State. Sometimes I prefer to pair 2 states that are together in one pair as our focus for the quarter. That will help you to know how to intensively invest your activity into it when you are engaging in your marketing activity. So all of these things are what you should do, and you cannot create an ideal fictional, right, or an imaginary ideal customer. You cannot do that if you do not really have a deep understanding of what your customer preferences are and what are their needs. Now, having done that, right, having created that, then you need to start looking for how to focus your advertising and promotional campaigns to those specific groups, right? The idea is to increase the effectiveness of your messaging. So now, for the males that are in this room, I'm sure you know how wooing a lady works, right? A lady that you like. Sometimes I like to also compare sales and marketing activities to when a guy is trying to approach a lady on the street because you like her and you want her to be your girlfriend and maybe ultimately become your wife. You know that you cannot be talking to her and then she sees you going to talk to someone else. She thinks you're not serious. You can't be talking to her and you're talking to her like as if you're talking to many ladies, because you'll be like, is this person really serious? Are you sure you're interested in me, or you're just trying to play with me? Do you understand? So when you are talking to your targeted audience, there's a need for you to create your marketing messages and your activity in such a way that they feel like you see them. The person goes on your platform, or the person just finds your platform, and upon seeing your marketing activity, and the person has this feeling of, does this person know me? Why does it look like this person is talking to me? I don't know if we sometimes experience that, and you go to church, right? When you go to church and the pastor is preaching on the pulpit, and sometimes maybe because you have done something in the house, or maybe somebody you have had a bit of issue with somebody in the church, and you know that maybe that person is close to the pastor, right? And the pastor is preaching. I don't know if we feel it sometimes, and it looks like, did this person just go and report me to the pastor? Why does it feel like this pastor is talking to me? Do we sometimes experience that? Or is it just me? Is there anyone who has experienced that before?
Yes, it's a common thing most times. Even at times you feel like, oh, it's like, Pastor, God is revealing what I've done wrong to the pastor.
You understand? Like,
Yeah.
It can be very crazy, to be candid. It can be very crazy because you are like, what did we do that it has now get to the point that pastor is now knowing about it? But really, it's not that. It's just that the pastor has done a thorough work. So let me be a little bit spiritual. The pastor has done a thorough work such that by the Spirit, right, he has been able to gain insight into the types of people that will most likely be sitting on the chair, looking to him to bring the message from God to them. And he needs to ensure that that message is communicated in the most appropriate way possible, such that it is delivered and the person receives it and there is a change. And that change could be a repentance. That change could be, God, I'm sorry. Okay, that change could be, okay, babe, I'm sorry. That change could be, okay, my friend, I'm very sorry. That I am sorry is the conversion that has already happened because the pastor has basically sold the product of salvation to that soul. So now you reverse engineer it. It's the same way when you are creating your marketing. You realize that if you are constantly able to connect emotionally to your target market, I tell you on God, you will see that you'll be experiencing constant flow of inquiries that would ultimately reverse, right, and convert into actual customers because people feel connected to, people feel listened to. So as a business owner creating a marketing strategy, you need to understand that. When you have your marketing team, you need to make them understand that. And the truth is, if they do not understand who your ideal customers are and what are their preferences, what are their needs, they will not be able to communicate effectively with them to the point whereby they are increasing the effectiveness of their messaging. Their messaging is the content of your marketing campaign. So for people who just like to look at what somebody else is doing and just copy exactly what it is and then adopt it, you realize that the reason why you are not experiencing sales, because the essence of marketing is that you have more people saying, oh, I am interested, right? You see the way people who sell in the buses do. All this, the same way it happens in the East, it also happens in the Western side, the Southwestern side here, where you have people selling in buses or you have people selling on the road. After they have preached everything, and then they say, who is interested? You start seeing somebody raising 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 hands. The way you can achieve that is if your messages, your marketing campaign is aligning with their needs, right? And it is solving what they have present. You know, if you remember, in my last session, in my mentoring session, I said that your product or your business should not be established because you want to solve a problem. No. Your business should be established because you want to solve a need. In a need are multiple problems. The need of a family is that they need money. The lack of money in that family has caused a lot of problems. If you can create a job opportunity, you will solve all of the problems that are in that family. I think that should put it into perspective. So the moment you sit down and you want to analyze your new product, if the only thing that that product or that service is solving is just one particular problem, then you know that you have shot yourself and you need to work on it, right? You need to change that business approach and you need to make it very, very rich in such a way that it is highly valuable, that it can last long. When a product or a new service is just solving one particular need, it is easy for you to exhaust it. You burn out on time. Your lifespan for that product and service within that market would be very short because another product can just come up, right? And then it kills it. Take, for instance, what is happening between the traditional banks, right? Or the traditional microfinance bank. Let's even use the one that is happening right now. Look at what is happening with the traditional microfinance banks and the new fintechs that are coming up. I'm sure that is relatable. Don't let me even assume. Do we know what is happening in the financial sector right now between microfinance banks and the fintechs right now? Do we? Is there anyone that has an idea? So that we can put this into perspective.
No, I don't have an idea.
Okay, so currently you realize that over 100. Okay, that's fine. Let's just say, let me cap it at 100 microfinance banks has been folded up and their license has been revoked because they do not meet up with certain criteria by the CBN. Whereas, years ago, right, having their license and operating and making more than 200% of what these traditional microfinance banks are doing. And what is the difference between what these microfinance banks are doing and what a fintech like Kuda or Flutterwave, right, is doing? Is the fact that if you look at their entire value chain, the value that they are providing and that they are giving to the market is very robust, and it is end-to-end. And it is so seamless that people do not even need to walk into a brick and mortar house. They don't need to walk into an office to access loan. They don't need to walk into an office to send money. They don't need to walk into an office to receive money. They don't need to walk into an office to draft out a savings plan. All of these things has been digitally patterned and structured such that you know that the typical reasons why people use microfinance bank is maybe so that they can have a means that they are saving, and maybe there's this rotational savings, or there's this way that they help them manage their funds so that they can also access loans. And there's this traditional way that is so tedious that you need to supply some documents. All of those things, the microfinance bank, that was how they operate. Now you see the fintech coming into it and changing the entire narrative. They are not just providing a medium of assessing loan. They are creating a way to manage your entire financial portfolio, from how you make your money, to how you use that money in business, to how you send and receive, to how you manage and plan that money to increase and multiply it by savings or by investing. You even have a platform like Piggy Bank that gives you an opportunity to invest directly from the platform. So that's what I'm saying. When you are creating a business idea and you know that you want to be able to last long in the market, do not seek to just solve problems. Seek to answer needs. When you solve needs or you answer needs through your solution, your lifespan within the market increases. And you see people constantly flowing towards you. Now, the next thing that we want to talk about, Mr. Ibe, please, how many minutes do you have left?
Hey,
So I do not, I can't see my...
Your time is fast spent. We might just give a minute to round up, and
okay.
We will have Mr. Victor come on board. So after his section, we'll not get into Q&A.
Q&A. All right, that's...
I think Omotola should actually conclude. So she shared the deck with me. So I think she's going to cover everything we are supposed to talk about today.
Okay. Yes. All right. Yes. That's good. Okay. So you now jump in during the Q&A.
Yes. I will join her during the Q&A.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. So I can go.
Yes.
So let me know how many minutes do I have so I can know how to speed up.
You have another 15 minutes.
Oh, sweet. All right. So let's jump on to product positioning and messaging. Now, you remember that I said that after you've been able to identify your target audience and you've been able to segment them, right? And you've also been able to analyze them and you've been able to understand what their preferences and their needs are in such a way that you now know how to effectively communicate to them to the point where your messaging will convert them into actual customers and all that. Then the next thing for you to do when you are planning a go-to marketing strategy is to create a roadmap or a plan for how do you want to position yourself in the market. When I say how do you want to position yourself in the market, I don't know if we remember when the likes of, well, I wouldn't know the age bracket of some of us on this call. Maybe I should look for let me just use Indomie, right? Let me use Indomie. Let me have like 2 people on the call here. Can you list how many type of Indomie that you know? How many type of Indomie brands do you know? Anyone, please.
Have,
Let's be fast. We have just.
hello, ma. We have Supreme and we have Tommy Tommy.
Your voice is low. Sorry.
We have Supreme and Tommy Tommy.
You have Supreme. You have Tommy Tommy. Which other one?
Sorry, are you talking of
Me.
Indomie or are you talking of different brands of noodles?
That's what I said. I said Indomie brands.
Yeah, if you're talking of Indomie, you now have Indomie Belefo, Indomie Super Pack.
No. You are already listing the different products types. I'm talking about the brands.
No,
That means you're talking about
someone has
noodles.
already started.
we have
Noodles.
Tommy. We have
Tommy.
Tommy. We have Chicky. We
Chiki
have
Chiki.
mini. Yes, we have mini. We have
And we have Indomie table.
yes, we have Indomie table is Indomie itself. Indomie, that's the Indomie produced
Yes.
that one. Other noodles.
So now that's where I'm going to. That's that's exactly where I'm going to. Do you hear what you said? You said Indomie table is what?
Is one of the brands under Indomie itself. Other noodles is what I was just listing.
Yeah.
Indomie table is a name. Is the smallest pack of Indomie. Noodles is
Okay,
a general
now, so
name.
this is where I'm going to.
Okay.
Yes. So this is where I'm going to. Typically, when you go to the larger markets, right, except you now want to further break it down into location-based, the most known noodles, right? The reason why I'm even calling it Indomie is because that's what everybody now calls it. Not so many people will say, I want to go and buy noodles. They say, I want to go and buy Indomie, right? And I can say categorically that 50% to 60% of the market, when they say they want to buy Indomie, what do you think they are saying they want to buy? Which brand? Anyone? Let me see if I have people who understand stats.
They want to buy Indomie itself.
Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Indomie now. Indomie itself. You would think they want to buy Indomie.
The Indomie? Yeah, the one that has
Yes.
Indomie table, Hungry Man.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know, and you realize that Indomie, right, which is the one that has Indomie table, the small chicken flavor, the belefu onions, you know, and all those different flavors that they now have. Yeah, crayfish and all of that, suya and all of that. Indomie table, whatever name that we now call it, they call it Indomie here, right? Indomie. So if they want to buy Indomie, they say, I want to go and buy Indomie. The one they are going to buy is and you realize that Indomie has dominated the market. To the point that I think they even call themselves Indomie. That's what they call themselves. That's the name of the brand itself. Then they now have different flavors and different product types on that general brand. And you realize that they dominated that place. They have positioned themselves in a way that it is very difficult for you to benchmark them and to push them out of the market. Is it the brand color? They have trademarked the name. They have copyrighted the name in a way that if you try to create an Indomie brand and you use the exact color that they have used, they can sue you. They have patented it. And that is one of the activities that goes into product positioning. You might not come to that point, maybe in that. And what happens when you patent your product is that nobody in the world will ever be able to do exactly what you are doing, especially with regards to packaging, and they can't steal your business idea. They cannot falsify it or create a duplicate of it, right? To do it may be to either give them royalty or be sued and you pay compensation or damage. You can build your business to that point, and it takes positioning yourself, right? And using different mechanisms, right, to position yourself in such a way that you become a force. And you can do that through your go-to-market strategy. Remember, I said your go-to-marketing strategy is that robust and comprehensive plan. And to a large extent, it is different from your marketing plan. In your go-to-marketing strategy is your marketing strategy or your marketing plan. So product positioning and messaging, what do we mean? I'm talking about how you are able to differentiate yourself in the market. And I tell you, this happens to whether you are a startup or you're an established business. This particular thing called differentiation is a major problem that everybody experiences, because from time to time, as you grow in your business, you need to constantly improve on the business, and you need to constantly bring your business to that point where you are standing out from competition. Because if not, they just push you out. There's something we call the blue ocean, and there's something we call the red ocean. In the red ocean is stiff competition, very harsh to a business. Everybody is selling almost the same thing as you. The market is so tight, some people have better prices than you. The market is so tight, customers are just finding it difficult to look at you because the person selling similar thing that you are selling has beat you hands down. Look at what Dangote is doing. It's very difficult for you to see Honeywell macaroni or Honeywell spaghetti beat Dangote on macaroni and spaghetti. Very difficult. It's difficult for St. Louis to push Dangote sugar out of the market. It's difficult for Lafarge to put Dangote cement out of the market because this guy has created an ecosystem in a way that his product has penetrated, and they can do that because they understand the Nigerian market. They understand it so well. Is it in pricing? Is it in quality? Is it in different type of way that they have created different options of the same product? Do you know that it doesn't take anything for Indomie to create multiple flavors? All they just need to change is the seasoning. It's the same Indomie. But the marketing department understands how to sachetize different the product in a way that it appeals to different people in the market. Now, they would not be able to do that to differentiate themselves if they do not know who their ideal customers are and what are the different preferences that is needed. And having understood that, they then look at how do we target these people by positioning ourselves in a way that we can talk to them and they feel like it is me that you're talking to. They feel like it is me that is calling to come and buy. You do that by identifying what your unique selling point is, right? And creating your selling or your marketing, your selling point and your marketing content, your campaigns. You create your messaging around that unique selling point. That unique selling point, right? You hear Indomie will say, I remember there was this time that anytime they did this campaign that if it is not Indomie, it cannot, I have forgotten how they put that thing. Something that talks about if the taste is not, if it is not Indomie, it can never taste like Indomie. And they created that campaign and pumped so much money into it that it became the song of almost every child on the streets. While growing up, to be candid, I tried Honeywell. I tried Mimi. And to be candid, it still did not taste like Indomie. And I just threw it away. As I am like this, you cannot give me any other type of Indomie and I'll buy it. The same thing with Gala. Gala too, you will see what they did. They just possessed that name, Gala. To the point that if a child even sees Super Bright, if you ask that child, what are you eating? I'm eating Gala. Is Gala the real name of that thing he's eating? No, but it's just that Gala has dominated the market and they've been able to uniquely sell their unique selling point. The fleshiness, the thickness, the organic sausages, the meat. There's a way in their videos, in their images, in their content, they elaborate on what makes them unique, what makes them different. They elaborate on the quality of their product and they visually communicate it to the point that they have made advocates out of their customers such that even when they are not selling, their customers are talking about them because their products are so good and they have also done well with their marketing. The same thing, look at the difference between the Airtel advertisement and MTN advertisement. Airtel has dominated creating campaign around the family, the mother, the husband, the wife, and the mother-in-law. And I know that there was a time Glow tried to do that campaign and it did not work. When I see that advertisement or those advertisements that Globacom does compared to Airtel, I'll just be like, you people should just go and rest. I would prefer to watch Airtel's advertisement to the point that it has now looked like a series. It doesn't mean that I still will use Airtel. I'm always going to be an MTN and a 9Mobile fan. But then I love Airtel about that because of how they've been able to position themselves in the market, and they've won the heart of a lot of elderly people and people who are family driven. My dad will never trade Airtel for anything. He has moved from Vodafone to V-Mobile to Econet to whatever it is, that, and even though the phone keeps getting lost, he will buy it and change it. He has MTN, but he will never call you on MTN except his Airtel line is doing somehow. That is what you need to get out of your client when you are positioning yourself. You need to be able to invest a lot into customer feedback. You need to be able to develop a compelling value proposition and messaging that speaks directly to your target needs, and it drives them to the point of engagement. That engagement is them engaging with your service to the point where there's an exchange. Remember I said, when you are creating awareness or you are gaining visibility, is the marketing activity that is doing that. The moment there is a point of interest that is triggered in them, and the person decides to dip their money into their hand, into their pocket to bring out money, and there's an exchange, sales has happened. Those are the activities that you need to achieve. So one thing I'm trying to establish here is that you need to understand the different objectives that your marketing activities seeks to achieve and the objective that your sales activity needs to achieve, so you know how to divide it. You know how to put demand on your marketing department, and you know how to put demand on your sales department. Developing an effective road map, right, for your marketing activities involves like 4 major things. You need to be able to define clearly your achievable marketing objectives and goals that are in line with your business goals. So for example, a person like Trust, who has an online platform, may tell himself, we want to be the best digital platform in Nigeria. Let's start from there. In order to become the best digital platform for online learning in Nigeria, that is our business goals. So it means that our marketing activities, everything that we are saying, the messaging will be bringing out something like the best, right? You're number one, high and premium quality. You highlight constantly the benefits of your products. And sometimes, like I would always say, speak from the end in view. In your marketing activities, always the highlight of your messaging content, there should be things that are strongly seen, that are like boldened in the messaging that you are communicating in your channels. So you are creating Facebook campaign, Instagram campaign, LinkedIn campaign. Some words should be constant across your multiple channels. And you cannot do that if you've not been able to really understand what your business goals are. Because to be able to clearly define it is to understand your business goals and also to understand your target market. You need to understand, where do your people congregate? For Trust, who wants to sell digital platforms and knows that his people are the working class people and the graduates, you know for sure that if you want to target graduates, go to Twitter and Instagram. You want to target professionals, just go to Quora and you go to LinkedIn. Those are your major channels. So then, how do I create a marketing mix? That is, how am I able to create my product in a way that the entire mix, from the product, the pricing, the place, that is the channel, and the promotional, and the promotion is the style of your campaign. What type of marketing campaign do you want to be known for? Is it videos? Is it tests? Right? Is it influencers? Is it partnership? So you need to understand it. So when we are talking about marketing mix, we want to look at, okay, for Trust, who has 2 different audiences, but is selling to is selling a digital product, but is selling to two different people in the same market. So it means that it needs to look for how to differentiate his messaging to the graduates from how he wants to communicate to working class people. So the product is, he would on his platform, I don't know, some of us may not be in my mentoring session. While we were working on trust products, I was able to help him look at how he can package his products in a way that he has single courses and he has career path courses, right? Career segmented courses. The career segmented courses can be sold to graduates. The single courses can be sold to working class because their needs are different. The career path courses are sold to people who are just looking to develop it themselves. They don't know what they want to do, so they are starting a new career path. The single courses are for people who are already within the field, so they're just looking to improve on their skills. So you can sell them single courses. So that's the product. The pricing, you know that for people who are already working, to a large extent, if you want to create a buyer persona, you want to be looking at people who are earning between a particular range so that you can sell your particular product to them and they will not bother you. And since we have said they're on LinkedIn and they're on Quora, it means that when you want to create a promotion, you know that you are doing your paid ads and your organic ads on Quora and on LinkedIn. And you may not want to only depend only on sponsored ads as your promotion. You may also want to leverage on influencers marketing by leveraging on people who have been in that industry or people who are professionals that have been able to really skill up themselves in that part, in the different skills that you want to teach people within your online program. And you get those people to begin to create reviews for your product with videos. So you need to know how to mix everything together, because the idea is to be able to influence customers into buying decisions. That's the entire idea. The idea is not just to let people know about you. If people just know about you and about your service, you have only fulfilled your marketing objective. You have not fulfilled your sales objective until those people that love you, know you. Like I usually tell people, people buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? If you've been able to achieve your know, your like, and your trust factor, you need to further drive people with your marketing activities into the point of safety where they feel safe with you. They feel confident with your product. They feel satisfied. When they are driven to that point, they will confidently remove money from their pocket and say, give me. That's what you need to achieve with your marketing mix. And you can never remove digital marketing from this thing when it comes to creating an effective marketing roadmap. I was talking to a startup fashion fintech 2 nights ago, and he was trying to tell me how they have done a lot of things, especially with marketing, and how the agencies that they have used has, invested a lot into digital marketing, and they've not really seen return on investment. And I told him, people fail to understand that not every business can solely thrive on digital marketing. There's a need for you to understand your marketing mix, which is in the place of promotion. Not every business would only depend on traditional marketing, using billboards, using TV, and all of those things, event marketing and all of that. You need to be able to understand the overlap, right? What business am I doing? And what is the best channel to use to promote it? If you do, the way you can know that is to understand who your ideal customers are. When you understand who your ideal customers are and where they often are, then you know what your primary marketing platform or method will be. For people who are approaching the digitally inclined and the Gen Zs, you know that digital marketing, right, is your primary marketing method. Knowing that, you know that you are investing on Twitter, Instagram, you're investing a lot and pumping a lot into it. TikTok, you are there. But then, you cannot neglect events. Most youths will not look at billboards, but events is something they will go to. Event and influencer marketing, you are mixing events with bringing artists, you are doing events with bringing coaches that are young and vibrant, have that degree of popularity, mixing everything all up together. So I'm saying this to say that you can never remove digital marketing, but that is not to say that it must be your primary. You determine what your primary marketing method would be from knowing who your ideal customers are and where they are often congregated. But digital marketing should always be, because where every business should drive at is the point of seamlessness, the point where people can easily access your service, where you can automate generating of leads and you can increase conversion. And to be candid, the best way to constantly generate new leads and to always increase your conversion is through digital channels. So even if you know that you need to always go to your market to deliver your Zobo there, or you need to always go to supermarkets, you should know that you need to automate that process by going digital. Run campaign and drive traffic to that store. Run campaign and drive traffic to that market. For somebody who is selling Zobo, who is selling pap, you know that is what you are selling. Run campaign and tell people, run campaign. If you know you'll be in the market next week, this week or 2 weeks before then, begin to run campaign and be sending people, I will be in this place at this so time. Come and meet me there. We'll be selling in wholesale, we'll be selling in retail, we are doing promo. Do that, talk about your business. It doesn't mean that you want people to buy directly. And if people still want to buy directly, to order from there, make provisions for that in your campaign. So you need to be able to know how to do that, right? So I think what I would most likely do is that I will share this slide. I've already shared it with Linda. So I would want her to also share it with every one of us, because I may not be able to cover everything because of our time, so that we can go to our question and answer. Once you want to create a go-to market plan, there are things that you need to do from your product launch, right? Which would involve developing a plan, understanding where your channels or marketing channels through which you will distribute your product is, identifying the key milestones, right? And establishing the timelines. So you know that in the first quarter of the first year of launch, you want to sell 300 products. So you know that in 1 quarter is 3 months. So in 3 months, how many products should we sell? What are the places that we want to promote our products through, right? And what are the things that will help us know that we are selling? Is it the number of inquiries? Is it the number of sales that we make each week that will help us to know that we are on track? How often do you want to measure or do some analysis of your activity in all of this week? Is it after every month in the 3 months? Because you don't want to wait till the last day of the quarter before you know how you're performing. So I would most likely suggest that your performance evaluation should be done in the 3rd week into the last week, so that you can plan in the last week for the next 3 months, for the next month in the 3 months. I hope that is quite understandable. And then you have resource allocation. How do you want to allocate resources and budgets that will help you to be able to, you know, effectively spend the resources? Because these are things that investors also want to know. If you give you 3 million, how do you want to spend your 3 million? Is it only your marketing? What is your plan for your salary to yourself and to people working with you? What is your plan to maintain the business? What is your plan to save the business if at the end of the day you did not sell as you want to in the quarter or in the milestones or timeline that you have given to yourself? So they also want to know, how do you want to allocate resources for marketing and all of the activities, sales and marketing activities that you're involved in? The 3rd thing is your metrics and analytics. I will always say that data is the new well right now. There's no business that intends to thrive and scale up that will not do that by data. I think I was speaking with Echebe, right? I think so. The decorating and the cake making lady that wanted to know, should she scale or should she diversify? And I told her, you cannot scale right now. You need to really use the data at hand. Go do your market research. Do your market research, see if there's a demand. Analyze the market and look at it. What is the competitive landscape looking like and what are the gaps there? Try to fill in that gap. Zero in on filling in on that gap until you have filled that gap to the point where people are now saying, oh, we want more, then scale. Because you are in a new location. She's in a new location and she wants to scale. That is not the right move, right? So you cannot do that if you do not have data at hand. And you cannot have that data if you do not carry out the necessary research. And in carrying out your research, you need to figure out what are the definite or specific sales metrics. What am I looking for, right? how can we say that we are already breaking even, or how can we say we are doing well in the market? What is the number of sales that we need to be making every month? Do you understand? Because that will help you to be able to track the progress, right? And also to measure your return on investment. If I'm pumping 100K into marketing and I'm just making 50K in my third month, when I have 6 months to convert based on what I've invested, then you know you're not doing well, right? So you know, what should I do, right? You need to be able to, you know, allow yourself to be flexible such that you can constantly modify your strategy. And you need to also have a good working culture. My friend would always say that culture eats strategy for breakfast. If you do not have a good ethics, you do not have a good discipline or a good culture of knowing how to manage yourself, your strategy will just flop, irrespective of how good it might look like on the paper. This is a thick one. This is supposed to be my last one. Let me see if I can make it turn. This is my last slide. I do not really intend to go so much into this. We read it once we make that available. I actually wanted to just give us an example, a go-to plan, right? 3 points, right? Like I said, in this example, the first one is you define your objectives. You identify your target market. You can read it once the presentation is provided for you for the sake of time. Then you also develop a strong positioning and messaging in the market, identify your marketing channels, also understand your pricing strategy, determine your marketing channels and how you want your marketing mix to be. What are the sales enablement activity that you want to do? What are your distribution channels? This is both for people who are selling products and people who are selling service. What is your launch plan? What is your monitoring and evaluation plan? And then how do you want to continuously improve on your product, right? And I have here, I said that you remember that each go-to-market plan will be unique to the business and its specific goals and market dynamics. That is, Tochukwu's business is different from Sade's business, right? Okafor's business is different from Charles' business. And your go-to market plan will be unique to all of you. What you intend to achieve is also going to be unique to all of you, even if you are selling the same thing, right? And the markets that both of you have decided to target are always going to be different. And the reason why it will be different is because of the people that are there. So you need to be able to customize your plan, right? And your resources and budgets and conditions to your market in order to be able to ensure a successful launch and also a sustainable growth, right? So I think that I will want to stop there. I'm always struggling with stopping. I think I want to stop there, right? So that we can go into our question and answer session. And myself and Victor can take all of our questions. This place is already full. I don't even know what is in the chat because I've not been able to check it out. I'm scared of clicking on this 27. All right. We've rounded up our session, right? So let's pump into question and answer.
Yeah, thank you so much, Omotola. Thank you so much. Anne, are you there?
I'm here, sir.
All right, you are going to help us read something, okay? I'm going to share my screen. You read it, then we'll now get into the questions.
Okay.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, let me zoom in.
Yeah, go ahead. I read for us.
Omotalani, meaning a child greater than worth. Omotalani is a Yoruba name given to a very beautiful girl. They are usually very gentle, funny, and like making jest of people's grammatical errors. They are really amazing and captivating smile. And wow, they are incredibly beautiful and intelligent. That lady looks like a Omotola. She is really beautiful. She is very beautiful. Oh. Very, very beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. So that tells us that
Wow.
I don't know the aspect of that grammatical error, but I think it's true. I think it's true. Unfortunately,
Where did you
I
find
think
that?
it's true. Even this morning, you told somebody that this is not right. I said, this is true. Thank you so much, man. Thank you. So Victor is here. I really wanted us to hear from Victor because Victor is someone who has another perspective around startup marketing, but he wanted our Omotola to do the run the section while he will come in for the Q&A. Okay, so Victor, are you there? You can unmute yourself and then let's get into the questions.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I'm actually jealous of the whole description of what Omotola means.
Don't be jealous.
Okay, well, let's get the question and answer section. Omotola actually did a very good presentation. I learned a lot, and I like the part where she mentioned that for you to actually get customers to buy from you, they need to know you, like you, and trust you. Because if people don't trust you, they won't give you money. People only trust and give money to people they trust. So for you to actually earn that trust, you need to work on your marketing. You need to have understand your buyer persona. You need to understand where you find the customers, what actually gets them attracted, and then that's where how you'll be able to know which marketing channels to explore. Like the Gen Z market, if you're targeting them, you need to be thinking of digital marketing channels and a little bit of say offline event where they attend. The events they attend, they are like exhibitions and all that. So yeah, let's get right into the question and answer section. I don't know if there are questions in the chat or if would allow people or the participants to unmute their mic and ask that question. So
I think we can raise hands. So we pick those who are raising their hands, then they unmute and ask. Can someone hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, very well.
So okay, so let's raise our hands. If you have any question, just raise your hand. We can now use the order. So before we take up, so before we take questions from those raising their hands, I want to ask Victor Omotola, is there a place for money, kudi, owo? Is there a place for it in all this? Because of you talked about Dangote and he probably might have used money. We know there are other strategies. Is there a place for money in this thing where you might need to use money to even go in front of those audience? Indomie, we might say beautiful things about Indomie, but they might have done a lot of work with money to make that possible. Is there a place of money? So please,
can I
raise your hands? Yeah, go.
Can I go ahead first for you so you actually conclude? All right. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, go on.
All right, great. All right, so money is actually required in marketing. So just as Motani had said, you need to understand your buyer persona. And if you're if you understand your buyer persona and say you're targeting the middle high class target audience, right? There's no way you can actually reach out to them without having money. Let's say there's this bottled water brand that is only sold in private jets, right? How do you sell that in private jets without spending money to buy tickets, right? So you can't see that anywhere in any store, right? So it depends on your target audience and where they are found. If you are targeting middle high class people and you're selling perfumes, right? There's the only way you can actually make them see that your perfume is more valuable than what they're currently wearing is by going to where they go, attending events where they pay for, like, say, a table of 500,000 naira. And if you wear that perfume and go there, they would want to have a conversation with you about the perfume you're wearing. And that's how you start that conversation and tell them, oh, I have a store where I sell this perfume. But if you don't have 500,000 naira to book that table where they go, like that event they go to pay 500,000 naira for tickets, I don't think you'll be able to reach out to them. So first off, you need to understand your audience. If you understand where they go, where you can find them, you'll be able to tell whether or not you need to spend money to get to them. And then in startup marketing, I try to make startups understand that you don't necessarily need to spend money on everything called marketing, right? So there are like two ways you can actually approach marketing. So there's a way you can actually approach marketing by only putting in the effort, doing the work, your efforts, just your efforts. And then there's a way you can actually approach marketing by investing money, imputing money. So putting in your effort is not really scalable, but investing money in marketing is quite scalable. And what this means is that if you don't put in so much effort into those marketing channels, you won't see results. And then the channels that require money, if you don't put in so much money into it, you won't see results. So I'll give you examples. So for the channels that only require your efforts, right? There are channels like talking to your family, friends, and people in your network. There are other channels like attending events, right? That your target audience, you believe that your target audience will attend those events, and speaking with them, networking at those events. So what it means is that if you don't talk to your friends, talk to your family members, attend these events or speak at events, right, you won't see results in terms of sales, right? Then looking at the channels that require money, let me say channels like social media adverts, right? Social media adverts, Google adverts, TV adverts, billboards, right? If you don't put in money to get these adverts out there, you won't see results. And of course, they are very scalable because if you look at social media adverts and Google adverts, they can get you to millions of viewers or your target audience within days, right? They are scalable. It doesn't really necessarily need you to put in any form of effort, but you just need to put in money, meaning that if you don't put in money in these channels, you won't see results. So first off, you need to understand your buyer persona and then find marketing channels that work for you. If you have money, invest money because it's scalable. So in those channels that you invest money in are scalable, but if you don't have money, you can try the channels that actually require only your efforts. Thank you. So Omotola, you can go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So let me just continue from where you said. Some people might be asking, what do you mean by effort? So for instance, I remember when I first started out, I didn't have the capacity to spend money on paid promotions or paid promotions that involves promoting on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, or leveraging on Naira Land, or even paying an influencer to help me promote. So what I did was to really invest in myself to know how to write sales copy, know how to write email marketing content, know how to write content on my major marketing channels that I've identified, which was Facebook and Instagram at that time, right? And I developed myself so well also to learn how to speak publicly because I knew that I would have to, pitch my product to people and all that. So I invested in myself, and investing in yourself is actually also investing in your business. So I want to establish that. But then it was more in myself, and I was using the things I was learning to invest back into the business. I didn't also have the capacity to employ people. So those were the only thing I was spending on. I didn't have money for paid promotions. But then a time came when I knew that I need to scale, and I can't duplicate myself. I cannot duplicate my efforts. If I had been leveraging on digital activity channels, right, like paid promotions and all that, if I've been using them to promote my products, the time I want to scale, all I might just need to do is to double the money I've spent, double the people we are targeting, right? Create custom audience and, you know, do all of those things, and then we could easily scale or expand our marketing channels and pay more people to help us promote our products. That way my money can speak for me in that manner. So that can work. Now, Mr. Igwe said something about, we can say that the likes of Indomie are doing this and they are doing that. But the truth is, all of the things that Indomie did, they did it with money. So take, for instance, I'm sure we know there was this story that came about how Indomie began to sell in Nigeria. And they came during that period where there was war, right? So the first thing that they came to do was that they saw a problem that people were experiencing. Instead of solving that problem, right? Or let's say there was water problem, instead of saying, oh, we will open borehole for you, they didn't do that. Because to open a borehole and for people to begin to drink water, that borehole will spoil and they'll have to come back and they'll just keep on doing that process of repair. But what they did was that they invested money in capacity development of people, right? They decided to establish a production company in a particular location. And in establishing that company there means that they will need to employ people. And they began distribution. At a point, they realized that whenever people go to sell, when they take some products out of the factory, some products were still left. So meaning that they were not able to take all of their products to the market. Now, they didn't want to now begin to set up a logistics firm. Instead of doing that, they invested in the logistics industry, right? And that was helping them to ship their products to the market. So I'm saying this to say that many activities that Indomie did that made them become who they were today involved them investing a degree of money. But I think what makes successful business really different is how they are able to allocate resources and manage their funds, which is the most important element when it comes to money and marketing. You cannot enjoy marketing if you do not have money. Or let me say, you cannot enjoy marketing if you do not know how to use your money to work for you. However small that money is, because money is money. Whether it is 10,000 monthly, or it is 100,000 monthly, or it is 1 million monthly. The most important thing is, how do you allocate the funds? How do you allocate it? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, interesting. I think Anne's hand is still up before her hand will start paining her. Anne, bring down your hand and speak.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You are too much. I said that. God bless you. You know, you used my business as a case study, and I just want to say something in that aspect of scaling through. You know, one of the reasons why I joined this program is to actually get that aspect, which is scaling through. You talked about marketing channels and digital marketing. You know, I've tried so much to try to market my products online, which is my catering business. I've done seminars. This is actually 5 years. I moved permanently to Port Harcourt. And since then, I've been doing business. I've decorated for weddings here in Port Harcourt. I've also partnered with one catering world, F King's Catering. And I'm still not, you don't understand. In speaking, by the grace of God, I can actually talk, I can convince a client, and the client will just give me the job. In speaking, face-to-face talking, that's the grace. But I am not I can't continue going around, talking to people. Okay, let me just take, for instance, yesterday, I told you in this my Omugo period, I just hate being idle. I just hate being idle, I was born and brought up in Abia. And Abia people are hustlers. Whether you are a graduate or not, you must be a strong person. So I can't just continue being in a remote area where people use my talents. I have organized, in these 5 years of staying in Port Harcourt, I've organized seminars, skill acquisitions, that I was the host, and I even partnered with that Fkins. And I did the more talking. I did the more instruction. I don't teach with handouts. There are some caterers that teaches with handouts. They'll start looking at books for recipes. I don't do that. Everything I teach comes from my head and inspiration. I'm just tired of working under people's influence. When you go online, I don't know if you understand me, ma.
Yeah, so I get you.
When you go online, you will see some jobs that are not even 50% of what you can do, but you will see 1 million likes, 1,000, 2K comments, and so on. You'll be like, God, how can you just make people to follow you, to comment like this? That's what I'm looking at. Okay, yesterday during this my Omugwa period, I moved into honey business. I have been baking out even as I'm doing my Omugwa. But this honey business, I have gone to some supermarkets. Like yesterday, there was one big supermarket that have been giving me the headache. What I did, the strategy I used, I dressed very well. That's number one. And I drove down. I didn't trek this time. I drove. So when they saw me parking my car, they were like, this woman, she's very serious with this honey business. I went straight and I talked to the manager. Could you imagine that he bought more than expected and he transferred the money instantly?
Interesting.
Because I was able to talk. But my problem is, if you can understand.
Sorry to cut you. I think it's very clear. Let's give Victor opportunity to react to it. So it's very clear. Anne is in business. Anne is a very good sales person. She does her marketing well, but she cannot continue to do it locally, physically. She needs a way to do it online.
God bless you, sir.
And scale. So how do we help her?
Okay.
Let's have Victoria first.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anne, for sharing that. It's just a question I want to ask. Are you interested in the likes, the comments, or you're interested in the money? Which one?
All of the above, because from the likes and comments, you will actually have 20 persons or 10 persons that want your products. You understand? So when you have only 100 persons that just comment, and the business will not be growing. You understand?
Okay. So there's something called vanity metrics on social media, right? So they are the likes, the comments. What really matters is the money that comes in, the people that come into your DM and ask you how much and they want to buy now, right? But then it doesn't mean that vanity metrics don't really count. They count validation, right? So if your business shows that like what it's actually, that's all it does. It doesn't feel good, but what makes you feel better is the money in your bank account. So there are different ways to actually get the likes, the comments. It's not difficult, right? There are many ways you can actually get that. You can get it in an organic way. You can get it in an inorganic way. So from what you shared with us now, I can see that you are running a B2B business model, meaning that you are serving, or a B2B2C business model rather, meaning that you're working with a business that is going to distribute your products to their customers. That's what it means. So meaning that you need to just meet a supermarket manager, and then they strike the deal, they buy from you, and then they serve the final consumers of your product. So if you're working that way, it might be kind of difficult for you to actually get those final consumers come back on social media to like your post, except if you have like on your branding. I don't know if your honey bottles are branded. On your branding, you add your social media channels there, and then like have like a call to action where they need to follow you and maybe get, if they follow you, they get like a coupon to get discounts on the next sales, or you can just give them an offer, because currently you're not dealing directly with your final consumer. You're dealing with people who don't necessarily spend so much time on social media. You could be dealing with just 5 supermarkets, and trust me, if you're expecting people to like your posts on social media, let's assume the managers of those supermarkets actually are on social media and they follow you, you just have 5 likes, right? If you don't have call to actions on the branding of your product, I don't know if it makes sense, but
So it really
hello?
makes sense. I've done my branding.
Yes.
That honey business is not my main job. It's not my main business. Try to understand my business. I'm a caterer. I do decoration. I do event planning. I bake cake. That's my main job. This honey business, I just started doing this my Omungo period. This my maternity leave. So it's not my problem. I'm doing my sales already. I've done my branding. I have done my packaging very well, and I'm making my sales. The question I'm asking is based on my catering business. How to scale.
Okay,
because
great.
I've
So
been working.
If your catering business is the main business, it now also depends on the people you are serving. Are you serving? How many people do you serve in a day? How many people do you serve in a week? Right? The more people get in contact with you, the more you tell people to follow you on social media, the more you get, the more they see your posts. That's how they get to like your post, right? And like I said, there are different ways you can actually increase likes and comments on your social media page. There's the organic way, there's the inorganic way. The organic way is the way that people actually just naturally see your post on social media and they like it. The inorganic way is the way that comes from you boosting your post, right? Promoting your post, like paying for sponsored ads. That way you get more likes, you get more comments, you could get more followers on your page. So you are not the one managing the pages of other people. So you can't tell whether they are getting those likes the organic way, or they are paying for sponsored ads. They could be paying for sponsored ads and you won't know, except you're the one managing their page, right? But I don't know if this answers your question, but I will allow Omotola to actually respond to this.
Thank you very much. So one thing I was going to talk to Echemi about was that she can't do everything alone, right? She's a salesperson, she's not a marketer. She's a very good salesperson. And the kind of activities that she does, that is invested into a cake making and catering business, they cannot be combined with her doing both the marketing, the activity of baking and cooking, and then sales alone. Leave it to her, she can convince anyone. But you need an hand to help you to consistently push out your marketing activities online while you undo the offline aspect of it, right? And to be candid, if you have not been consistently pushing out your brand, what you have been doing, the quality of your product, the point of always getting referrals, if you have not been able to push it out online, you cannot get those metrics that you see other people get. And like Victor has said, right, they are vanity metrics. But I know that sometimes for people in your line of business, they need that for visibility. Take, for instance, what happened with Hilda, right? If you also go look at other people, like right now, there are some content that you ought to be creating online that can give you such kind of visibility that you need, right? Because I know that for people in your line of business, sometimes those clients sometimes may want to go look at you online to see what you are doing, right? To see if you have that kind of recognition, because people who are in catering, if they would be approached by private individuals, organizations that want to use your service, they may want to see what you have done for other people, and they will need social proof. But the truth is, you don't have that presence, right? That was one of the things I was going to talk to you about, if I was able to go on with our one-on-one session. So you need an extra hand, and that extra hand needs to be somebody who is really good with content creation, content curation, and also communicating your value proposition in the best way possible online. And everything that Victor said also stands. Everything he said stands. So what you need to do, you know, I was talking about understanding your marketing channel. So do you want to use digital marketing, or you want to use traditional marketing? For you, digital marketing is not your primary channel, but it can be your complementary channel, and it needs to be done in such a visual manner that it will communicate premium quality, right, to the people who are looking at it. And you may need to a large extent invest on paid promotions, because right now you've not been so visible. And the only way you can kick and pump a lot of support into that is to run paid promotions, specifically on Instagram, right? And on Facebook, right? You could also do a bit of small scale influencers on TikTok, right? Just get maybe a food influencer or a food reviewer, right? To review your food and then drive traffic to your drive traffic to your TikTok account or your Facebook or Instagram account, whichever one is the best one that you know that people can easily get access to you once inquiry is being made. But then for you, you need to understand that you cannot do everything alone, right? You also need to be able to regiment your activity, right? Because of how long you have been in business, I understand that you may not want to be doing certain things that a few persons who are just starting up might be doing, because to a large extent, within your locality, within your circle of influence, there are people who are looking up to you. So for me, I would rather you step up your partnership a bit to looking at approaching hotels, or to looking at how you can become a personal chef. If that can be a new product line that you might want to add to what you're doing. I'm just suggesting, because to begin to tell you to continue doing seminars and workshops, training and skill acquisition, those things are capital intensive. And for a business that is not, gaining so much in terms of revenue and sales right now, I would not advise you to continue doing like that. Those are just activities, right? They are just activities that may not necessarily get you the type of conversion that you need, because they are not really your target audience. So the best thing for me to advise you to do would be to look for channels that you can partner with that already has the audience that you want to sell to. Similar to what you did with this honey also that you just did. Go to hotels, right? Before you approach hotels and before you approach all these big restaurants, it means that you would have done a bit of their research. Look at what their menu looks like. What unique menu can you add to them, right? And they will also want to look at the people that you have worked with. It means that you need to go back to your database and look at what are the type of people that you have worked with and get them to give you a kind of review. So it's either you want to get your review on your Instagram or your Google business to get them to leave review there, or they may want to do a video review that you can archive, or they may want to give you text and picture review that will help you create a small brochure that a photography studio can, because for you right now with the stage that you are in, you need a kind of packaging. You need a catalog, right? That will help you to present to these high-class places, right? But then I will still go back to what I'm saying about you needing to do market research and your competitors analysis of where you are. Because of course you might have done a lot of activity, but You can see it. I used to tell people anything that you are doing and that is not giving you the result that you want, it means that you are not doing the right thing, even though they still fall within activity.
And
so
it's
for
stealing
the
our
sake of
day.
time, yeah, that's where I would.
Okay.
And has stolen our yeah,
Okay.
Victor, go ahead.
Sorry.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Omotola, for everything you said. So I'll just summarize. So in what you said, and you can't be in business and you are working on the business and also working in the business. So currently you're working in the business as the, what's it called now, as the baker, as everything, right? You can't do that. And at the same time, work on the business, which is like the future of the business, looking at the strategies, better strategies to actually help you grow faster in terms of revenue, visibility, and all. So you can't do the same thing. So is it that you're focused on improving the quality of your cakes and allowing someone else to work on your marketing, or you actually work on your marketing and hire people to be making the cakes for you? Because now you've trained so many people, why not hire someone to make the cakes while you focus on the marketing and all that? So another thing again is from what the last thing Omotola said about upgrading and like upgrading your partnerships, getting new partnerships and all, and stop like reduce the activities you've been doing. That's the whole trainings and all. So I will give you an example. I don't know if you know, I don't know who knows Kelechi Amadobi. He's like one of the top photographers in Nigeria. So
yeah,
he's trained so many photographers that we know. 2 years ago, or I think last year, I wanted to take I wanted a photo shoot with him at his studio, right? And I knew someone who actually went there for training. And so I asked him to contact the front desk personnel. And when she spoke with me, I asked her, okay, how much do you guys book charge for a day photo session? And she told me, okay, half a day is with Kelechi is 2.5 million naira, and the full day is 4 million naira. That's what he charges. And he's trained people who are currently charging 1 million naira, 500,000 naira. He started from charging 100,000 and even less, but now he's gone up, because if he doesn't go up, he would not allow other people to go up in terms of their pricing. So if you've been in the industry for a very long time, you need to try to go up, you need to try to meet bigger partners, because if you don't go up, if you don't go higher, the people you are training won't see customers, because those customers will still be coming to you. Meanwhile, they should be going to them. Your prices should be going up. You should be meeting bigger people.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Chai,
Exactly.
let me bring my notebook.
Exactly.
Interesting. It's okay. Anne, it's okay. Anne has taken all our day. We have. Let's just take one more person. You know, there is a proverb. There is this Igbo proverb that says, "Onye kwebo na raya aho, enyere ya aka," which means if you say, or if you mention where it is paining you, the doctor will know exactly how to treat you or the right drugs to give to you. Now, in this case, Anne has used this opportunity to say, this is where I'm having an issue. It's not something to shy away from. And most of us are learning from it. And she will benefit. She will be the most person to benefit out of it, right? So we have just grateful. One person. You have, it's okay. You have taken our day. Let's take one more person. Let's take one more person. Yeah, go ahead. Who is speaking? Okay. Chidima, right?
Yes, although
yeah,
I'm late, my network was having issues. Okay, my major problem is marketing. I do a very good job. People have done job for years. They recommend and refer people to me. But when I post on social medias, I hardly get customers unless people that I worked for referred somebody to me. I do get, but the turnout, the turnout I get on social media is really discouraging. And another thing is that I'll bring out my mind, I'll spend time to do a job. And I know that the price of this job worth it, or even is